There are a few things more difficult than securing a sales meeting. This is why it's so important that when we land them, we make the most of them. Yet, I still see the most common mistake that new salespeople make is going into a meeting without doing enough research and then speaking too much at the start of it. You want to go into every new business meeting knowing as much as you possibly can about this prospect before ever meeting them. My name is Barbuto, and today what I'm going to do is cover 5 key places that you should look before going into any meeting, so that way you have the best chance of making it as productive as possible and leading to next steps. The first one I'm going to talk about is your CRM system. So with your CRM system, it's a great tool to use because what it allows you to do is to track any historical data between you and the company that you're about to speak to. Find out any details about how you guys have worked together in the past, so that way you can reference that at the top of your meeting to see if anything has changed or if it's still the same. Through your CRM, you should be able to find out information such as what were their challenges, what were their main objectives, key value, why were they considering partnering with you, and importantly, what happened, the reason why you did not work together. This will allow you to go into any meeting understanding whether this prospect is qualified, whether you are likely to be able to help them, so that way you know whether you have to give a lot of context on your partnership and your company or not. Next, what you want to do is to review any similar clients that you've helped with in the past. This will be serving as social proof to show that you've had similar experience. Share this info in this historical context to start building credibility. What this is going to do is to turn you from just another vendor to a potential strategic partner that's worth listening to. The next place you want to go after your CRM is LinkedIn. Check out both your prospect's LinkedIn page as well as their company's LinkedIn page. In a prospect's description, they'll tell you exactly what their core responsibilities are. You'll also be able to check out how experienced they are. How long have they been at this company? Prospects that are new to a company may be more open to changing things as opposed to somebody who's entrenched and has been there for a long time. Then once you head over to their company's LinkedIn page, check out how they're describing themselves. This will reveal their positioning, how they see themselves, how are they differentiating themselves, as well as core services they've been posting about. These are likely going to be the most important strategic initiatives of this company. This will show you how you could possibly fit in with this company, as well as complement, replace, or whether this will be a new offering. Check out some key stakeholders by looking at their employees. If you have LinkedIn Sales Navigator, you're able to see an org chart to determine who are the key decision makers that you'll have to be talking to, as well as who will you be talking to in this meeting. Is there likely going to have to be a follow-up meeting if there's other decision makers at a higher title that often make decisions in your category? These are all things that you should be able to find out from checking out their LinkedIn employees. You can also see things like, are they growing? Are they shrinking? This could potentially open up some information for you if they're growing and hiring in an area where you can help. The next place is to go to their website. On their website, you can find out a lot of key information that will help you in your meeting. You can find information such as, are there any partners that are listed on their website? Any clients that are listed on their website? Make sure that you're reading any case studies that they include. Check out the core services. A lot of times you're able to make a determination as to not just what services are core to their business, but also how they're executing it if they list out the technology that they are partnering with on their website. You're also able to see who are those top of the chain key decision makers. So usually the executive team is listed on, and sometimes there's a description of the executive team. Check that out and see if there's anybody that is important that is going to likely be a part of the decision process. If they're a public company, I highly recommend that you check out their earnings reports to determine what are their strategic priorities and how is their recent financial performance. Check out their letter from their CEO. This is a high-level review as to how the company is performing, what's important to them, and this will tell you what key areas that you should focus on in your meeting that will help with their strategic initiatives and the most important things to their business. By referencing this at the top of your meeting, this will reposition you as somebody from just another vendor to somebody who's worth listening to because they've done their homework and they've done their research. The next place is to pop their name into Google. Check out if there's any recent articles that have been written about their company. What this will do is to tell you what are their key most important priorities for this year, as well as any interviews with their CEO. Because this can also be very telling. The CEO will be the one who is striking the vision for the company. So reading that can be a huge credibility builder at the top of your meeting. You can also see if there's any key new hires that were recently made at the company. This can be very telling if it is in a particular category which you can help in. Oftentimes when employees switch over from different companies, they try to make some changes within the organization. So taking advantage of this by reaching out to them, congratulating them on the new job, can be another way to start building a wide relationship across this prospect's company. Another thing that you can do is to put a prompt in to generate AI to give you a high-level overview of all the ways that you can likely help this company. See if it could share any key information in the areas that determine whether this is a prospect that is likely going to buy or not. It can be a very useful tool to give you a high-level overview of what you're likely going to be able to help them with and how you should position your company to help them. A bonus step is to try out their product or service prior to meeting them. Try to put yourself in their customer's shoes. This will allow you to be very relevant and build up your credibility. The last thing I'll talk about is a story where I almost missed the most important meeting of my career. This was right at the start of my career where I was meeting with a huge global marketer that could potentially be a game changer. I went with my CDO and my head of strategy. And we ended up taking the subway. As we were about 10 minutes away from the meeting, the subway slowed down and suddenly came to a halt. The clock ticked by and I started to freak out. There was really nothing I could do about it because I had no internet service. Luckily, after 4 or 5 minutes, the subway jerked forward and we ended up making it to the meeting only 5 minutes late. However, this could have been a disaster. I could have missed the most important meeting of my career. If you're in the New York area, you know that this is not too uncommon, unfortunately. But it's critically important that you prepare for something like this. Prepare for any possible traffic or issues with public transit. Always leave at least 20 minutes early. Get there ahead of time if you need to set up any equipment, if it's an in-person meeting. It is far better to wait in the lobby than risk missing an opportunity by leaving too late. So just to recap, the 5 places that you can look to set yourself up for success in any meeting are your CRM system, LinkedIn, your prospect's website, Google, generate AI. If there's anything that you still haven't found out heading into a meeting, do not be afraid to send over some questions for your prospect to answer prior to. That's going to be the most relevant information ahead of time. The goal of your research is to come in as prepared as possible, but being ready to pivot and be flexible to sell them however they need to be sold. Your goal is to start the meeting by building credibility, by sharing some information up front from your research. This will immediately position you as an expert, not just a random vendor. So by saying something like, hey, I found out this information about you from my research, just wanted to confirm whether this is still accurate, that can be a huge game changer with how they're looking at you, and also getting them to open up, because it shows that you care enough to do your homework. This allows you to earn the right to ask those questions at the beginning of your meeting, and it positions you as an expert. Prepare as much as you possibly can before the meeting, but be ready to be flexible. One of the biggest mistakes that I see new sellers make is they'll go in with a particular game plan, they have an idea of how they can likely help them, and then spew everything that they had planned on saying to them, regardless of whether it seems relevant or not based on what the prospect tells them. What being prepared really means is going in with as much information as you possibly can with a game plan, but being ready and flexible to adjust your strategy to whatever the prospect tells you. Because at the end of the day, that's what's most important. Be ready to sell them however they tell you that they would like to be sold. This will set you up for success. Go into every meeting assuming that it's going to go well and will lead to next steps. And you will dramatically increase your productivity rate in your meetings. If you're interested in knowing the script that I use to secure next steps in meetings within 5 minutes, you can head over to andrewbarbuto.com/meetinghacks, where I go through my exact script. Please like and subscribe if you found this video helpful. Head over to andrewbarbuto.com/book to sign up for the waitlist for my upcoming book, Top Sales Producer, How to Crush Your Sales Quota. andrewbarbuto.com/book. It will be coming out on pre-order in the next week. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, if you're not helping, you're not selling. Thanks.